Chattahoochee River plays a very important role in man's habitation of this region. This goes back to prehistory, and we see a lot of interaction between a number of groups along this river, and that's not just prehistoric, but also in modern times. There are a number of moments that are very important to the Chattahoochee River, going back into earlier periods, probably south of here, the Kulamuckee settlement. There are mounds that still survive there. It's in Early County, and it was about 500 in the modern era, probably the largest civilization north of Mexico. And it was an important cultural center, an important religious center. There are some things that certainly we don't know about it, but it was a major center for a number of reasons during the 1st century AD. Probably the next big one is during the Mississippian period, and we're talking about after the fall of the Kulamuckee Center, getting into, say, about 1200 or so, into the 1500s. You've got the rise of the Mississippian culture. And really we're talking about the Muskegans, what the English started to refer to as the Creek Indians, and their domination over the area. And from that point, when you're talking about European contact into the 1700s, this area is important because the Creeks maintain a very uneasy alliance with competing European interests, French, English, Spanish, all over the place. So it's an interesting crossroads. The water is always moving. People are always moving in and around the valley area, along the river. It provides so many things to people, whether it's sustenance with water or fish or any number of things, but also the ability to move, economics, politics, religion in the early periods of human habitation. So it's that constant movement of water that kind of ties things together. These connections help move forward. It gives us understanding of the past and how the river is used. And probably one of those things that has a very long-lasting effect on a modern era is the water wars. Georgia, Alabama, and Florida have been embroiled in who controls the water of the Chattahoochee River. And Georgia, since its founding, has looked at the Chattahoochee River as sort of a boundary. And then when the Alabama, the Mississippi territories were created with the United States, the far bank of the river was considered the boundary of Georgia instead of the middle of the main stream, which is usually par for the course for waterways as boundaries. So it has developed into a strange place where Georgia is constantly fighting Alabama and Florida to keep its water, to be able to use it. So here is something that goes way back in history that we're fighting over today. Though we haven't started shooting at each other yet, who knows? It may evolve out of the courtroom and go to not just fisticuffs, but shooting at each other over our water sources. But the river does have its own personality, and most people today use it for pleasure, for going out on their little boats up and downstream. People don't really notice the river, and the river has been really more in the modern era a mode of leisure. Go out boating, go out fishing or whatnot. So yeah, people kind of take it for granted.